If you have any questions, you may raise. Have you worked on with the week 3 content? Digital system, digital experiment?
Yeah, we have submitted.
Yeah, submitted week 3 content. So it's an extension of week 2 and connect when you have to embedding, connect in interfacing week 2 and week 3 together. Am I right? Of digital systems as a last experiment. Do you have any difficulties? Okay, anyhow, I'll just tell you what I actually expected from the last, before submitting the 4th week content. Actually, the 4th week content is about the interfacing of your counter along that should be implemented and that should be displayed using the 7-segment display unit. And you have to suppose to displays 2 digits with the help of 2 7-segment display. Maybe we have only one decoder circuit for that 7-segment display. And if you have one, you can try yourself. But second display should not be used with decoder. You have to done the same experiment with your transistor based. And also you have to try to identify what is the current, how much current does it require for each segment. You have to measure the flow of current using the same RLM kit itself. So in this particular recording, do you have any questions?
Sir, actually, regarding the previous submission,
Yeah.
I already made the circuit to drive two LED, 2 7-segment displays to display counting from 0 to 15.
Okay, that is that input to the comparator is given from the output of the
Counter.
counter. Okay, well,
I
that's also
used a
good.
counter.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
that
I
is
was
good.
confused that then what will I have to do in the current, the upcoming week?
Yeah, fine. Thing is, the last time
Can
you
I
are
resubmit?
submitted. No. Thing is, have you done that experiment with the 2 7-segment display or single segment display?
I have done it with 2 7-segment display. It counts from 0 to 15
How
in
many decoders you
decimal.
use? How many
I
decoders are
used
using?
only I used only one decoder for the lower the unit place, and for the tens place I used directly connected it to the. I did not use any decoder. I made it manually. I
But
set
how you change?
pins.
How
I
does it?
set pins.
Hmm.
I set pins. Uh, A, B or C, the one that displays A, I set it to ground using the resistor. My 7-segment display is a common anode type. So, and for displaying a 0 and switching it to 1, I connected the other mm, pins responsible for displaying the other part of the 0 to the output, carry output of the adder circuit
Well,
using a resistor.
so nice, very good. That experiment is good enough. And I just want to ask you one question. Have you identified any difference of these two displays? In the terms of intensity,
It's
brightness.
not visible actually
Okay.
by just
So
viewing
the
it.
current limiting factor is playing the role to proper display. So you have to supposed to connect with the proper resistor as well as you have to switch out these things. So how you did switching? That is zero or
Uh,
one like this.
how did I
Yeah, the
switch
tens,
when I
tens,
count from 0 to 9 and then goes out to 10,
yeah,
11?
in the tens, tens and in the tens position, for the first 9 digits, you are displaying zero. After that, then 10 to 15, you have to display number one. Okay, so in that aspect, how you did so? Using
Okay,
NOT gate
okay.
or what else? You are taking output from the carry out. That's good. Well, let's
Yeah,
but carry out is happen when carry out happens only when does it happens?
it
Um,
happens when the counting goes above
Maybe you can take from the output
9.
of comparator. That's not carry out. You
No,
are
no,
taking
no.
value.
adder carry I am taking out from the adder circuit. What I have done,
Okay.
I will explain it in brief.
Okay.
I fed the output of the counter that counts from 0 to 15 and fed it to the comparator.
Yeah.
And from the comparator, I took the A greater than B. Here, A is the output of the counter, and B I have set it to 9. So whenever the value is greater than 9, it outputs the output of that a greater than 9 pin. I fed it to the adder circuit. Uh, the A, I think
So the formation of one zero,
yeah,
and
one
then these two output
zero
are
and
zero.
second, yeah,
So
the
yeah,
middle
understood.
to,
Yeah, understood. Yeah, understood. Then finally, what
and
happened? We're
then
going to add it up. Yeah.
add
Okay.
it up.
Anyhow, the carry out will be generated. Okay.
Yeah. And
So
I
you are
fed
use.
the. Hmm.
Yeah, finally, you're taking that output of the C out and you are giving that as a logic zero. Whenever it is giving zero, it means that the number is from 0 to 9. If it is 1 means it is from 10 to 11, 10 to 15. Am I
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I
Yeah.
currently am
Okay.
able to see my circuit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's also sounds good. But now, okay, anyhow, you are taking from either comparator output or directly from the carrier output. That's okay. But the limiting factor is not sure, right? You are not able to visualize the proper the intensity after crossing it. So I'm supposed to suggest you that you just try with the inverter, okay, as well as transistor. Think in that way, so that the current, the sufficient current can be driven by the VCC itself. So I hope you have done some experiment in the BJT based transistor based experiment. Am I right? Have you done the transistor characteristic, VI characteristic?
In the first week.
And the analog circuit, you have done some experiment, right? Yeah. So you that knowledge, you just try to use some kind of configurations. You know what are the three type of configuration? You know, with the help of transistor. So done with you do have to try with that particular configuration and try to control that transistor by your carry out or your comparator output. The transistor get to be activated on based on your carry out or off based on the carry out. You understand? Yeah.
So currently, you are telling that yeah, it's okay that currently my circuit is working, but I have to do it nicely using a transistor. So
Exactly. So that what happened, you
okay.
can able to see the proper brightness and the proper current limiting factor.
So sir, what I will do, I will remake the previous video because I have almost covered everything
That
there.
is
So
okay. Yeah, you. Yeah. Just
I will
finish your.
replace that last part with a
Yeah,
transistor circuit and then upload it.
then
Will it
some.
be
Yeah,
acceptable now?
yeah. As a fourth experiment, you just submit like that.
Sir, one more query. In the previous submission, where we were supposed to test the comparator IC, the adder IC, and so the output. So there, I didn't actually measure the currents because I directly used LEDs to show the each intermediate output. That is the intermediate output of the counter using LED, intermediate output of the adder using LEDs, and also showed the output of the carry C4 pin, also the comparators output. So I thought measuring current is I mean showing glowing the LED, it means that current is flowing through them, so it will be more sort of intuitive. And also, it was not very clear that what we have to do. So, is there any problem about that?
I mean, if I am if I understood correctly, you are calling that the current you are measure. You didn't measure current, or well, you are just kind of executing the experiment of counter as well as comparator, right? And
Inspire
your display to use. Yeah,
In
yeah,
place
please.
of measuring the current of one
Yeah.
or two pins, I planned to show the exact output using LEDs at each stage. So I used a
Yeah,
array of
you didn't. Yeah,
yeah.
you just simply show the display only, but you didn't measure the current flow at that instant. For example, if that 0010 means at that time that second bit position one is have producing one logic one, and that current factor is not measured, and you simply display the answer as 0010 as like in the form of indicate notification. Am I right? That's what you did. So, but you didn't measure the
Yeah,
current.
I used LEDs.
Yeah, but from this, what is your requirement? Is it okay? That's okay. Not that's fine for that experiment. But for this experiment, you have to include this particular property also, because that these are the stages where you have to think like this is not the analog experiment or digital experiment. It is an experiment. That's it. You have the connection of
Yes,
all.
sir. For this,
Yeah,
I
that's
will
what we
do.
are.
I will do it because
Yeah, that's what.
we need to show the BJT characteristic there. So,
Exactly.
but
Exactly.
regarding sir, regarding the previous submission, as
Yeah,
it was also not very clear that what things we have to measure. So I just showed it with LEDs at each stage. So there is no problem with that. Na
that's not
every
problematic. What
output
is
is
your
clear.
requirement? You want to? I mean, you know how to measure the current, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
using that voltmeter, I mean, I'm just talking that with the help of voltmeter itself, that is my using Adlam kit itself, can you able to measure it?
Measuring current
Current. Yeah,
directly.
yeah, through that particular line.
We can do it using connecting the multimeter in series, but if you want to measure
This,
using another method, then
that's why
we
I'm
can
asking.
yeah.
Very
So
simple concept. You maybe you can connect ammeter by keeping our multimeter in respective position. That's one way, but we don't have the multimeter, right? Then how can we handle it?
we can pass a little current through a non-resistance and measure the voltage drop across it. So the
Just
current
measure the
across
voltage drop. Just measure the voltage
yeah.
drop. Then divide that measured voltage divided by the respective resistance value. Then you can find it, right? You
So
understand the point?
what
So
current measurements are we have to make at BJT or
to the seven segment. So
okay?
in series of seven segment, I'm asking. So what I am supposed to tell you is, imagine that you have this just have that node from the output. You're connected to the seven segment like this. You're connect this in there is some one LED is there. Okay, diode is there, light emitting diode. Then after that, this diode is common grounded. If it is a common grounded anode, common anode of LED, seven segment display. Okay, so here you just connected directly, not connected to that to the ground. You are connected through resistor only. So what I'm asking you, just measure the voltage at this point. It means this is a voltage with against the resistor. I mean against the ground. With respect to ground, this is a particular voltage. Now, if I measure this voltage divided with this resistor, I know the current flowing in the series. Am I right?
yes, sir, I got the point.
That's it. Yeah.
What measurements actually, I understood that we have to measure the
If
current
you
that way,
if you
but
yeah, if you measure like this point, that is the resistor under the ground, that is proper way. Or if you keep your voltmeter at this junction, that is before the anode, I mean, at the point of anode part of LED. Okay, then there is a potential voltage drop across that particular diode, then ground. Just imagine how much current voltage it will be looks like.
we have to
That
measure
is
for each segment or what?
all the thing if necessary. Okay, because if you connect the common resistance, I mean same type of resistance, that's not a problem. But I'm asking you whether you're giving it such a manner. Are you sure that you're connected in a common, I mean same resistance only?
Yeah, yeah. And since
Then
the
no
all
problem. The
LEDs
same
will
current
draw
will be going to.
same,
Yeah,
all
if
LEDs
you
will have
have
same characteristics. So one measurement
yes,
for each seven segment will be enough now.
unless you are connected with the different resistor, this is valid. Otherwise, you have to based on the resistance value, you just the current may not be same, right? If you have different resistance,
Everything is identical for each diode.
then no problem. With identical resistance you are used means then no problem. So someone identical resist or someone identical you have to supposed to connect. Okay.
Sir, I
Yeah,
have to ask
please.
just one thing that do we have to upload same video in week 7 and week 8?
No. Week 7 is different. Week 8 is different. Week 8, you have to supposed to, I mean, okay, first, whatever you did in the week 7, maybe you have done with the input by taking input from the uh, output of comparator. I mean,
Yes,
output of the counter.
yes, sir.
Okay, if you did so, well, that's what, no problem. Or some people will do like instead of giving the output of counter, they manually give some number and try to display the result. That's okay, but not a problem. But finally, you are supposed to submit with the 1/7 segment. In the third experiment is only 1/7 segment is enough, right? But in the fourth, we have to supposed to submit with the 2/7 segment display. Okay, one 7 segment display can be driven by the driver circuit, but for the second segment, you are supposed to do some mechanism right now. Just now I mentioned about with the triple transistor, right? So think in such an aspect and display both the unit properly. So
Sir,
one unit, yeah,
I did seventh experiment with both segment displays.
yeah, both 7 segment okay. But what is the how is the second display? That is 10% 7 segment is driven. Whether it is driven by the decoder circuit or by did some any other alternative things you have done.
Sir, by adder circuit, I use the carry out.
Okay, that's okay, but that's why just now mentioning the intensity will not be as expected level. So that you
Sir,
have to give the
sir,
profile.
in mine the intensity was all right.
Okay, but okay, fine. If suppose I'm asking to add on more number of 7 segment display, so will your circuit work? So the point here is how you try to drive in the current. That's my point. We are not asking you to complete the task. The completing task is not a requirement. We want you have to supposed to know how to manage this kind of situation. If that is, I have the control unit, 1 or 0, which is produced from the carry out or from the comparator output. But with that, based on that particular logic, I should give the enough current to actuate my 7 segment unit or some actuator unit. So how you did so with the help of translator, how you what kind of configuration you have so far you have to plan with such a connection only we are expecting you how to demonstrate it. I said last experiment.
Okay, sir. So we have to demonstrate a way to control the other seven segment display in the week 8.
Yeah, that is with the help of transistor, and also you have to explain what is the limiting current limiting factor, or what is the current flow through each 7 segment. If you have been mentioned with the identical resistor for all the 7 segment, it's enough. But I want you to mention that what is the current you are passing it.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Any other question? Am I answered you all? Those two guys who are Nilesh Kumar and I think Aditya Pradip. Am I answered you?
So, sir, going to the last week, I think in previous experiment, we used the carryout pin as a power source, but in contrast of it, now we are supposed to use it as a signal to drive further or not. So
It's a
that,
gating
uh,
pin. It is just like a
yeah,
gating pin, control pin.
sir,
That's what I.
for submitting, what points do we have to cover? Because some I
Yeah,
mean,
it's up to your way of explaining. We want to
very
ask you to submit 5 minutes, right? So in this 5 minutes, if I'm doing means, I always say like as I already mentioned about the counter part, that counting is operation executing as per the previous method. Then I go ahead with the next part, comparator. It's also discussed in the last week, and I'm including all these things together. So just a matter of 10 seconds, I completed all the things. Now I'm just going to explain about in detail about how I'm connecting the transistor, why I'm connecting transistor, and how I'm connected my transistor, and what are the things I measured so far, and what is the need for measuring these things. Like this, I'm giving emphasis. That's it.
it
So
will
this
be over in 2 or 3 minutes because most of thing will be common from the previous. Only the transistor thing will be new. So
transistor is
will it
new,
be
current
accepted?
measuring is new, current measuring is new. Yeah, I'll accept it, but we want you how to demonstrate clearly. That's it. These things to be you just explain what are the if suppose you explain to the peer members how you supposed to explain what are the questions they may arise, think in that aspect,
So
or else if you are the
I just
student
brief.
and
Yeah. I just
yeah
brief
think
about my previous circuit and go on to introduce
ex-
the new transistor and current measurements and some
yeah
explanations there and show the output.
exactly
So it will be fine.
yeah of course, don't take too much of time, that's it. We want you have to cover up all these things, that's it. Okay, any questions? Okay, I think about. I think is there any other question? Means you can rise up. Otherwise, we can go ahead with the next step. Is there no question? Fine. Okay, fine. Thank you all. To do complete your experiment and submit it as within the given time. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thirumurugan. Hello, Thirumurugan. Thirumurugan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, session is over.
Sir,
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Yeah,
sir,
please.
can I, sir, I submitted yesterday, and with many students, they faced some issue there. After submitting the video, we were, I mean, we were able to resubmit it more than I submitted it twice. Many students did it multiple times. We were not able to confirm that whether the video got uploaded or not. I mean,
The
dozens
recent
of
upload will be
students posted.
the recent upload will
So
be taken care. So you'll just don't worry about the recent upload will be modified. That's it.
okay, sir.
Okay, if suppose we are not getting anything, I'll just share that thing with people who are submitted in the digital system forum itself. Let me share you the people who are what are the experiment who are all submitted. I'm just sharing the list of people who are submitted it. Okay, in the digital system forum, right? The discuss forum. I'll share it through that way. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thirumurugan.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.